So, here's the complication. Or Nayande. When you see some injustice, but because you don't have enough street cred, so-called street cred, to say something about it for people to listen, should you bother saying it? Ultimately, it is going to be about subjective opinion, but to be objective in this case. So I've done some research, and this particular person's Kickstarter for a previous project most probably has been put on hold, right? Because there was an update on the Kickstarter page after a long layoff, almost a year. And then now there's a new Indiegogo for this person's new feature film. And then a thought came into my mind regarding this person's previous scenes, can't even call them short films, where maybe they got the clicks and the views, but you know what? You can pay for views these days. It's not difficult to pay for views. And you can use bots to rack up your views as well, to get it into the millions. So what? That's just false street cred. You can get bot accounts. It's similar to clicking refresh, but on a much more wide scale. And if you can't do it by yourself, you can always pay to have it done for you. Now, I have no proof. And it's just speculation on my part. And if anything was to be said, the possibilities are that they look at me as just being jealous of this person's success. So equating views or hits in this case to success is what this new world is about. So that's what's kind of pissing me off. And then watching a video, some new videos from This Guy Edits, really enforced my belief that just because I'm an individual at the moment, there's other people out there which have the same belief, which I may not be connected to, but they have the same belief, which is that story is paramount. If you're making a medium, if you're creating in a medium such as film, what bothers me is that this person's saying that this is his first feature film. And if it's going to be feature film, it's going to be feature length. And if it's going to be feature length, it has to be at least 90 minutes. And all of this person's previous stuff has been under 20 minutes. And taking out all the unnecessary stuff comes down to at least 5-6 minutes per piece. So on average, the footage being used, percentage wise, at least half can be cut out, if not more. So what I'm thinking of is, should I really be spending my time to point out this person's lack of editing skill, this person's lack of storytelling? And then be seen as just someone that's jealous of his so-called success? Or do I wait until it comes to a point where it could actually be harming people to be in this position of such delusional grandeur that you can have over people? I'm not one to tell people how to spend their money, but on a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, if you're putting money forward for this kind of thing, it's just I'm all for new material, but it needs to be good material, right? And I'm all for creativity, but it needs to be critiqued. This person's blocked me on Facebook so that I can't see their posts and they can't see my posts. Therefore, any new material that this person puts up cannot be critiqued by me, because my critique is objective, and this person probably doesn't understand that actually the critique is actually helping him. However, there comes another point where my thinking seems so radically different from everyone else that maybe it is beneficial for people that are less intelligent, that they have this kind of medium, that they have this material out in the world where they can be exposed to this. It's not good, but it entertains them, right? You can have something entertaining, but it not be good. You can have something entertaining and not have a story, right? So there's that market. So I have to be wary of that. I've queued up, downloaded his most recent stuff, and then part of me is thinking that his previous Kickstarter, he's just taken the money just to make these mini short films in the meantime, because you can't really do a full-on production, right? And it seems like his ideas for films, or scenes in this case, kind of just pop up and then he would just roll with it. He won't actually examine the nuance behind why he's telling the story. As in, why is the protagonist in the story? What does the protagonist want? And what's the protagonist going to do if he doesn't get what he wants? That's a story. And is it original? But if you're not going for originality, like he has done, he's done what he calls concept films, which are not films, they're just scenes of, let's see, Matrix, James Bond, Unfriended. And he's saying, as if it's a selling point, that he was the first person to make a film about coronavirus. But so what if you're the first person? And as a filmmaker, you need to have responsibility to your audience, unless you don't actually think about having an audience and you just want to massage your ego. And this is just a pet project of yours to boost your ego. which it seems that every piece has been that way. So do I waste my time with this guy now, or do I wait until he has something a lot larger planned? Which this could be that thing, which is a lot larger planned, because it's a full feature film, and it's not going to require a budget of like 1,000 something. It's going to require at least 10,000 for a full feature film. Set to film, start filming next month. That's the word, passion project, right? Is it a passion project which is driven by ego, or is it actually something that's going to benefit an audience? Because ultimately, you make film to show other people. You don't make film to make money, because in actuality, you're going to lose money. So, why the budget's so high? Who knows? It just makes me think that he's just going to use this money and just keep it for himself. Or split it with the producer, right? But you know what? Dumb people find dumb people. And that's how it is sometimes, you know? Because I don't know what else to say. That's what's got me a bit annoyed right now. The fact that he's putting out all this material into the world. People are supporting him, but they don't understand what they're supporting, because they're just glad to see this kind of material being made by someone of their race, maybe. I can only hypothesize. I seem to be the only one that has an instinct as to this isn't why he's making the movie. He's just making it for an ego, right? And so what if he's paying people along the way? It's just the way he starts a post. It's, I don't mean to show off, but what is that? And so what if your so-called short films have gotten awarded or have been entered into festivals? It's not difficult to enter into festivals. You just kind of need to just submit some shit, you know? And so what if it wins an award that some festivals no one's ever heard of? And then you're throwing things like Netflix. It's kind of embarrassing, that's all. Thinking about it. That's all I have for now. It's like, do I put in the effort, the time and effort to really critique all his shit? Is anyone even going to bother listening to me? Right? I think that's what concerns me. It's like, is anyone actually going to bother listening? Majority of people are down the middle. Majority of people are thinking neither good or bad. They're just kind of like, oh, it's there. I'm not on the fence. I'm more on like, this is wrong. and yet you're trying to influence all these people to come to your side. That's wrong, the way you're doing it. And maybe I do hold some kind of prejudice, but this is just my instinct kicking in. I've never met the guy. So I can only hypothesize as to these things. Yeah. Do I want to take X amount of time to prove that this guy's a fraud? Do I want to bother doing that when there's so many frauds out there in the world? How does it benefit me? And how does it benefit other people by doing that? That's the ultimate question. Let him do his thing and keep on fooling people and not say anything, and not feel guilty about not saying anything, or stand up for what I believe in and point out certain things to people. Factual things.